Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream, my friends. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day out there. Good to have you guys here back for another stream. So we got a lot of activity ahead of us here in severe weather land that we do need to be discussing. We got a bit of activity that we need to look out there for, including today. We do have an enhanced risk out here for severe weather across portions of Texas. Kind of something that I didn't really realize we had. I mean, yesterday I think it was marginal not long ago, if I'm not mistaken, and we got an enhanced risk here for later today. So definitely going to need to be weather aware. Now, we do have a really big event coming up for Monday and Tuesday that we need you guys to be absolutely weather aware for, especially there towards the Midwest, the upper Midwest, which we're getting ready to get into. So let's just first talk about the convective outlooks right now. So this is today's outlook. We have a little bit of severe weather today across the green, the dark green, the yellow, and of course the orange here. This is the risk area here for severe weather. So, today we need to be weather aware across portions here of Texas, across portions of Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, a little bit of Colorado, even in the risk area here for a little bit of severe weather. Like I said, we have a level 3 for today, so we'll definitely need to be weather aware out there. Now, tornado-wise, we do actually have ourselves a 5% chance for tornadoes up here across the panhandle of Texas. So basically, within a 25-mile radius of you, there is a 5% chance, if you're across the brown here, of seeing, like I said, a tornado within a 25-mile radius around you. So that is the risk overall for tornadoes in terms of today, essentially. Hold on one second, y'all. I need to do something real quickly. I accidentally spilled my drink a little bit. I've been having that bad problem of spilling drinks here. Luckily, I have a shield over my computer, so we should be a lot better. But anyways, folks. But yeah, so like I mentioned, we have a little bit of a tornado risk out there for today that we need to look out there for. And like I said, it does work its way up here towards like Colorado and Kansas and, Oklahoma here as well. So, we'll definitely make sure that you guys are, being weather aware out there. Make sure that you guys are, watching the weather and stuff. I don't know. I'm thinking about doing coverage later today. I'm not entirely 100% sure if we will end up doing coverage, so I'm not going to promise anything, but we might do some coverage considering we do have that 5% risk out there. Anyway, so we do have ourselves also a pretty decent wind risk here in terms of size. The risk area here for damaging winds is relatively large, but the probability is relatively small. We do have ourselves a 5% chance out there for damaging winds here, mostly ranging between 60 to 70 miles an hour overall. So Definitely got to look out there for a little bit of gusty winds being possible. But, relatively speaking, I mean, considering that this is a relatively low-end risk here, the odds are pretty low. But we do still need to look out for some gusty winds and stuff. And then lastly, we do actually have a pretty big hail threat for today. We do have ourselves a 30% significant risk out there for hail. We are talking potential hail here ranging actually 2 inches in diameter or more. So if you're across the red here, that's a 30% chance probability here overall of seeing hail, once again, 2 inches in diameter and larger. And like I said, we actually have that concern all across this netted area. So you guys can kind of see here where we have this region. So this is where that hatch risk, that's where that significant risk for, for hail is going to be here overall. So once again, yeah, this is kind of the region where we could see potentially, 2 inches in diameter and larger. So, that is something that we'll need to really tune into for today. Now, working our way over here to tomorrow. Tomorrow, there's really not a whole lot going on here. Really not a lot going to be happening tomorrow. We do have a little bit of a marginal risk, though, across portions of Texas and Oklahoma. So a little bit of severe weather will certainly be possible for tomorrow, but, nothing super, super crazy is expected here for tomorrow overall. So that's that. Anyways, let's see here. I never did do a welcome. What's up, Alt? What's up, Vienna? What's up, Tabletop? Raka, Cheryl, Red Cyclonic. What's up, Overbuilt? Zach. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing good. But yeah, so tomorrow, like I mentioned, not really much going on. We do not have a tornado risk tomorrow. We do have a little bit of a gusty wind concern and a little bit of a hail concern for tomorrow. Really nothing too big. Hail upwards of, 1 to 2 inches in diameter, essentially, non-significant risk, so that's good. And of course, we do have ourselves a little bit of a gusty wind concern here for, some gusts within the storms tomorrow, 5% chance here, being within 60 to upwards of 70 miles an hour. So, nothing super crazy for tomorrow. Then we work our way into day 3, which this is going to be for Saturday. Now, here for Saturday, we have a little bit of a risk across western Texas and eastern New Mexico. That's really about it, nothing much. Now, once we work our way into Monday, okay, so Monday, we got a big day for severe weather. We're going to definitely need to be weather aware on Monday. So the Storm Prediction Center has actually upgraded the risk here from that 15% risk that we were talking about here yesterday. They have actually upgraded that to now a 30% chance probability here for severe weather, across portions of Iowa, across, much of Iowa, I should say, southern Mississippi, or not Mississippi, Minnesota, western Wisconsin here, northern Missouri, northeastern Kansas, eastern Nebraska, little 30%, shouldn't say little, I mean, it's a pretty big area, but yeah, 30% risk out there. And of course, we do have that 15% risk still here for the areas outside in the yellow. So, I mean, even if you're in the yellow area there, that's still a decent risk out there for, for severe weather and stuff. So, regardless, I mean, if you're in the, if you're in the yellow, if you're in the orange, just make sure that you are remaining weather aware here for Monday, because Monday is going to be a, pretty big concern regarding severe weather, mostly across, the plains, going through the Midwest, upper Midwest. We really need to be weather aware here. Now, this will continue into Tuesday as well here. As you can actually see, as we work our way into Tuesday, that cold front will advance its way here to the east overall, in which we are going to be seeing, the continuation of severe weather. This is a large 15% risk probability for severe weather in general as of now. But yeah, here for Tuesday, we're going to have the potential for severe weather across Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, portions of Ohio, Michigan, and even a little bit of western Kentucky is going to be in the risk here for Tuesday regarding the severe weather potential. So, once again, if you're across the yellow here for Tuesday, this is Tuesday's risk here that you're looking at. We need to be weather aware here on Tuesday because, once again, we're going to see a bit of severe weather. That's really going to start on Monday, though, with the biggest concern as of right now, kind of across areas like Iowa, as well as Missouri, like northern Missouri, southern Minnesota, western Wisconsin. So, once again, we're going to definitely need to be looking out for those days. Now, here going into Wednesday, as of right now, Wednesday, we really don't have anything scheduled here. No risks here for Wednesday or Thursday. So once again, today we definitely need to be weather aware with that enhanced risk that we have. Once again, across western Kentucky, I just need to head off here. I'm calling states all kinds of different names. Western Texas here. in which we do have that enhanced risk, that level 3 severe weather threat here across the panhandle. So that does include areas out there by like Amarillo, as well as Lubbock and whatnot. So we do have that level 3 severe weather threat here. Yeah, once again, they did upgrade that to a 5% chance for tornadoes. Like I said, the wind threat for today is pretty minimal. We do have a pretty large 5% risk area here for damaging winds, which is a relatively low concern. Still is going to be possible, of course, but like I mentioned, pretty low probs. But then, once again, the hail concern here, we do have a pretty big 30% risk area here, or pretty big hatch risk area, I should say, with the decent 30% risk area here across, the panhandle of Texas overall that we need to look out there for. So, I mean, Texas is known to get big hail quite often, and today's definitely going to be no exception, given that risk out there. This also does extend into western Oklahoma here too, for the hail concern, the significant hail concern. Now, potential for hail, goes all the way up here, even into Iowa. You can see with that level 1, that 5% risk here, mostly just for hail 1 to 2 inches in diameter. What's up, Ponderosa? What's up, Spencer? Let's see here. Vienna says, in case if this applies to anyone else, if you're unable to put your car in a garage due to a 30% hatched hail, what should you do? Oh, that's a good question. That really is a good question. Now, you got to remember that not everybody in that 30% significant hail risk will see hail. Not everybody will. Some people will, very potentially, or very, I would say likely, given the overall risk, will see hail potentially up to that size. If you don't have a garage, maybe go to a friend's house, park it in their garage, just go try to contact somebody else, or just go somewhere else, during the storms. But just remember, like I said, not everybody will see that hail concern that's in the risk area here. Like I said, not even everybody will see severe weather in the severe weather risk area for today. Even in that level 3, not everybody will see severe weather. It's just a little bit more probable, a little bit more possible, the further you're into the deeper risk areas, essentially, giving you a higher probability. But that's that. Put a tarp over your car. I don't know. Would a tarp do a lot of... Will it really help a lot, though? You got to think of winds and stuff, too. You got to make sure you strap it down at least really well. I don't know. If I'm thinking if like hail gets big enough, 2 inches in diameter and larger, I don't think a tarp would really do much. I could be wrong. What's up, Michelle? Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Brian says, I won't be shocked if Sunday gets a 15% risk area. Model's already uptrend. Trending upwards for Sunday and Monday. So, yesterday, actually, we'll go and hop over the models now. Yesterday, when I was looking at the models here, which I haven't really, I kind of waited to look at the models with you guys here. I browsed them a little bit, but not much. But so, from what I was looking at yesterday, we had the event coming up here for Monday and Tuesday really has a pretty good amount of instability and wind shear. Let me go ahead and pull up the instability here. We're going to go ahead and load the cape here. Let's actually get rid of our mid-level shear. Let's get rid of our convective inhibition here, and we'll keep everything else. Actually, we don't even need sea level pressure. So we work our way down in time here. Going into Monday, you can really kind of see everything setting up here for Monday. Yeah, we definitely do build in a lot of instability here. Fuel for storms here. This is for Monday, which you can definitely see that up across, up across the Midwest, towards like Iowa, Missouri. We really do build in a lot of instability, which, some of that instability does go through into the, into the southern plains here as well. So, you can definitely see where that instability comes in play here for Monday. Now, given our lower level wind shear, we're talking pretty decent values. 40, 45, upwards of 50 knots potentially. In terms of, lower level wind shear, that's a pretty good amount of wind shear and fuel for storms, which is two very important factors for severe weather. Let's grab a sounding here. I'm kind of curious to see what the soundings kind of suggest here. So definitely really good amounts of instability all throughout the atmosphere. Great moisture supply. Once again, our dew points even up here in Iowa, where we just grabbed the sounding from the GFS, shows dew points in the upper 60s, which is great moisture supply. That's going to really feed those storms with a lot of moisture, which is good. Or good for the storms, I should say. But yeah, a lot of pretty strong wind shear, especially in our mid-upper levels. There is a little bit of curvature to our photographs here, indicating that veering profile, which definitely could be a concern for tornadoes and stuff. Definitely is a bit of a concerning sounding here. Very steep lapse rates too. So basically, the rate of which the temperature drops as you gain altitude. We measure this in degrees Celsius per kilometer altitude that you gain. We're definitely seeing some pretty steep lapse rates here too. Given lots of instability, very, very capable sounding here. Definitely, I do think tornadoes can be a concern here too. Just looking at, I'm kind of getting used to the format of this program that I use, which I absolutely love. By the way, if you guys do want to check out this program, we can get you 20% off your first month. You guys can see it up there if you want to check it out. It's super cool program. I'm still trying to get used to everything here, but it definitely does look pretty solid here. Let's see here. Surface 3 kilometer SRH, 231, that definitely is supportive of some tornadic activity, of course. And, overall, yeah, we do need to look out for that. Now, like I mentioned, as the cold front advances eastward, that severe weather threat does too. As we work way over here into Tuesday, you can kind of see, the Ohio Valley. We do have ourselves a pretty good amount of instability kind of working its way through up through the Great Lakes region here, down here towards the the Midwest, down into like the Southern Plains and whatnot. Still, Tuesday, these areas got to look out there for some storms. Let me grab a random sounding. We're just going to grab one up here in kind of south central Illinois here, which, our photographs are mostly linear. To be quite honest with you, given this sounding, I wouldn't rule out tornadoes, but they would be very unlikely given a sounding like this here. To be honest with you, this would be kind of more of a concern for damaging winds, given a sounding like this. Still really good amounts of moisture being supplied within the storms here for Tuesday, as that cold front moves eastward. Still good amounts of moisture here. Decent amount of instability. It's not the most in the world, but it's enough. And it definitely does look pretty decent here overall regarding the risk here. Also going into Tuesday, so we'll definitely look out there for that. Great mid-level wind shear. Really kind of allowing for those storms to get pretty well organized. Let's grab another sounding here across like Ohio. Let's see here. So there's a little bit of curvature. Our wind shear is a lot weaker though in the lower atmosphere. It's nothing super significant. I could see the possibility where tornadoes could occur, given a sounding like this across like western Ohio for Tuesday. Given this sounding, once again, that's if the environment holds up to this, which there's a good shot that the environment will look a little different than this model is suggesting at this point. But still, damaging winds too. What is that? 866 D cape here. Your downwards cape here. That's decent. That could definitely support some strong downdrafts, especially considering, we do have some decent lower level wind shear too, which could really allow for some gusty winds and stuff to be a concern. But yeah, so generally speaking, definitely a wind concern. In terms of damaging winds, possibly just a big long straight line of storms, potentially. We'll watch it because it still is a couple days out, and we'll figure out the mode and stuff. But more than likely it'll just be like a long line of storms that rolls through. Kind of being a dominant wind threat more than likely, but tornadoes still could certainly be a concern here, given that environment here. Anyways, what's up, Calvin? Hope you're doing good, man. Vienna says, what do the green and red lines mean? On the SKU-T chart. Here, I'm going to bring up another sounding. Let's take a look at Missouri here. So the green line measures your dew point throughout the atmosphere. So this is ground level. So this is surface level. This is mid-atmosphere, and you go upper. So the higher you go up on the SKU-T, the higher altitude you're climbing. which you can see in meters up there going up. We also measure altitude and pressure equivalent because obviously, as you go up in altitude, you lose pressure, because not as much air molecules pushing down on you. Anyways, but yeah, so the green measures your dew point and the red measures your temperature. And obviously, just a little bit of a fun fact for you. The closer your dew point is to your temperature, the higher the humidity is. Remember that warm air can actually hold more moisture than cooler air. So that's another little fun fact for you. Anyways, but yeah, so that's that. Once again, I mean, given the sounding here that we just grabbed out here in Missouri, here for Tuesday, photographs are pretty straight. There's not much veering wind shear going on here. I don't think would be much of a tornado concern, at least for this time, this model, for this sounding, or for this area. So, we'll have to look out. But I think, honestly, the main concern is certainly going to be on Monday. We definitely do need you guys to be weather aware on Monday. I mean, yeah, look at this. This is in Iowa. You can see, definitely some curvature to our photographs here, indicating that veering wind shear profile, susceptible for tornadic development. So that is something that we should definitely be monitoring here. Let's grab one a little further north up here in Minnesota. Still got some curvature to our photographs. Would not be surprised. If this sounding was observed, the time being, given a sound like this, there's almost a little warm layer, but the storm should be able to squeeze through that. But given this environment here, definitely, definitely, relatively speaking, could be a tornado concern, maybe even up in Minnesota too. Let's try Missouri here. Let's see. Still got some curvature because, we do have our area of low over here. This is the kind of the evening here for Monday. You guys can see in the bottom right there. So this is, you can kind of see where that low is kicking up there, amplifying that wind shear and stuff. But yeah, definitely some pretty good amounts of instability too. GFS suggests like 2,000 joules. Let me try Euro. Let's compare this to Euro. See what the ECMWF kind of suggests. It's obviously good to grab more than one, more than one model opinion because, let's see here. Let me go ahead and add thermodynamics, instability. We'll go ahead and load our cape here for you guys. It looks a little different, but yeah, so here's our instability. So looking over here for the same time on Monday. Oh, I guess I can't do that for Euro. Well, anyways, Euro does still suggest a pretty strong lower level jet here, especially for Monday evening. We're talking 40, upwards of maybe 50 knots. As that low really kind of starts to strengthen, as it works its way through the upper Midwest and stuff. Euro also shows a pretty solid amount of instability here out through like Kansas and Oklahoma here too for Monday, which Monday's risk, let's see here. I think Monday's risk does go down in Oklahoma here too. Here's SPC's outlook for Monday. You guys can kind of see here how that does extend down into Oklahoma and Kansas and all that. But yeah, the greatest probability here is for Monday is going to be up across like Iowa, northern Missouri, as of now, like southern Minnesota, western Wisconsin. As of now, like I said, that could change. We could start to get some expansions, maybe de-expansions if models say otherwise. You never know. But anyways, so yeah, we'll definitely look out for that. And once again, don't forget Tuesday as well, guys, because Tuesday we also have that 15% risk here as well. So. Calvin says, I'm lucky there's no threat here in Houston, Texas. Yeah, today we do have it enhanced, though. Guys, let's take a quick little peek at today's risk here, y'all. So, yeah, Houston's in the general thunderstorm risk here on the edge of it. So don't be surprised if you get a couple showers or storms in the general area. But, yeah, the severe weather risk today is really going to be across, like, West Texas here, Oklahoma, Kansas. So, the dark green here represents that level 1 out of 5 severe weather threat, which, indicates a low probability for severe weather. But still, there is still potential for severe weather concern. Or there still is potential for severe thunderstorms occurring in that area. It's just relatively a lower risk, a lower probability. And then, of course, you go into that level 2, which is the yellow. So at this point, a little bit greater of a concern for severe weather. Definitely we could see some severe weather within the area. And then lastly, that level 3, which means, there's likely going to be severe weather in the area overall. So, just generally speaking, you guys can kind of see. But yeah, in the dark green, the yellow, and the orange, I mean, yeah, you guys need to be weather aware out here for today. Once again, this is today's risk here. And like I said, the greatest concern here, we do have, that enhanced risk, that level 3 threat. Now, like I mentioned, tornadoes will be a concern today. Across portions of the panhandle of both Texas and Oklahoma, going into southeastern Colorado, as well as like southwestern Kansas here, with the greatest concern for tornadoes here across the Brown. That's a 5% chance for tornadoes, which, is still, relatively is a small threat for tornadoes, but still, we need to be weather aware out here. The good news is that we're not really expecting any significant tornadoes to really occur. We're not expecting those big tornadoes EF2 or greater. There is no significant risk for tornadoes. The only reason we actually have today's enhanced risk is actually not for tornadoes, because this is equivalent to a level 2 threat here in the 5% Brown area. That's a level 2 tornado threat. That would be a slight risk. No, it's actually hail, given that 30% hatch risk that we do have for hail. So that netted area you guys can see here across Texas, Oklahoma, this is where we could see 2-inch hail or greater. We're definitely some big stuff here overall. What's up, Abby? Hope you're doing good. Tornado watch coming soon for Texas. Oh, did they issue a mesoscale discussion? Here, let me take a peek here, see what we got going on. Oh yeah, we did. Got watch possible. 60% possibility of watch issuance here. This isn't the Panhandle though. Is this? Is there another one? Oh, there it is. Okay, that's it. That's actually another watch they're considering for further south here. Let's see here. Wow, look at this. SPC has today's risk here, potential for hail ranging 2.75 inches to 4.25 inches in diameter today. In terms of damaging winds here, we're going to see the potential for gusty winds ranging between 65 to 80 miles an hour, and tornado wind speeds anywhere from 100 to 130 estimated. So, like I mentioned, given that for tornadoes, it might seem like a lot, but that's relatively low-end tornadic activity. I don't think the wind shear really supports anything significant today for tornadoes, which is kind of why we're really lacking in that department. But we still do have that 5%, so we can't forget that. Still definitely is going to be a tornado concern. Here, let me hop you guys back over to models here, so we can kind of take a peek at that here. So looking at our... Let's go and overlay our radar, our future radar here. Got the 18 Zulu coming through. We'll use 17 Zulu here. That's the latest one we got. But, oh yeah, look at that. You can really see those storms and stuff starting to fire off here. Fairly late today, actually. HRRR, the latest 17 Zulu run that we have, kind of suggests like 6 p.m. Central, roughly. Anywhere from 5 to 6 p.m. Central, we could start to see some storms developing there. You could see we could have some discrete cells within this region here, which, those discrete ones are, definitely pretty known well to, to produce some nasty weather. Here, let me go ahead and grab a sounding right there, kind of in that inflow region here. Ooh, yeah. So look at that curvature on your hodograph here. You can kind of see we do have a really good amount of instability throughout the atmosphere. Dew points in the 60s, lower 60s, good enough moisture supply. Steep lapse rates too. Wow, those are pretty solid. Yeah, I definitely do see that being a concern. Effective inflow layer, relative helicity, 375. Wow, okay. That's... Surface 3 kilometer. Yeah, that's pretty decent helicity. I ain't gonna lie. I definitely do see a tornadic concern in that, for sure. You can really obviously see those veering winds here in the lower atmosphere. See how the winds are changing direction with altitude. So this is ground level right here, and you go up in altitude. So starting at ground level, the winds are going to the northwest. And as you go up in altitude, the winds are changing direction kind of to the east here. So you can see that curvature on the hodograph indicating that directional wind change. As well as, an increase in wind speed as you go up in altitude. That's why it kind of really takes off the higher you go up. That's pretty cool, though. That's certainly definitely an environment for tornadic concern. So we really got to watch out for those discrete cells if they develop here, which they will likely. It kind of seems like, I mean, at least from what the HRRR here shows, the further north you go up in the Panhandle, the greater the helicity, you know, for tornadic activity and stuff. I mean, yeah, definitely got a lot of curvature to those photographs there. Let me pull up the lower level wind shear here, guys. We're going to go ahead and overlay the, let's see, upper air. Overlay the 850 millibar wind shear. We're gonna make that yellow, so you can kind of see our mid-level winds here. Yeah, I mean our lower level winds. My bad. Yeah, lower level jet stream here is about 20 knots, 25 knots. I mean that's not anything super significant. If it was 40, 50 knots or so, then yeah, I could see a significant tornado concern and stuff. But given our wind shear, lower level jets fairly on the weaker side. I mean, I wouldn't say it's fully weak, but it's weaker than typical for at least anything significant. Yeah, I mean, definitely do see that. 20, 25 knots or so. I mean, that's that. Yeah, HRRR you can kind of see is showing some high-end reflectivity on some of these too. Let's see here. So right at the 700 millibar line here, you can see we definitely do have some growing instability. So that's going to be good for hail growth and stuff. Also, I wouldn't say fully dry, but relatively drier in our mid-lower levels, which can be really good for hail development and stuff. Still got that photograph hooking there. Yeah, I mean, definitely hail is going to be the main dominant concern from this sounding here. Yeah, once again, guys, it looks like storms are going to be popping off here anywhere from like 5 to 6 p.m. I know this says 7 p.m., but this is Eastern time. You guys are in Central time out here, so this would be... actually, this area might even be Mountain time, right? Is Western Texas Mountain time? Huh. Don't really remember if you guys... If the Panhandle's in... I think you guys are in Central time, right? But anyways, yeah, this will be firing off here right around like 5 to 7 Central is when I'd say that storms should be starting to kick off. It's still Central? Okay, cool. Thank you. What's the odds of that Monday turns into a moderate or high risk? It just depends. I mean, like I mentioned, a lot can change between now and then. There can be big changes to the models, which could... be more of a concern or less of a concern. There's really no way of telling. It just depends on what it kind of looks like the closer we get. Now, I will tell you this, being that it is still several days out, I would not be surprised if there is big changes to the forecast between now and then because of uncertainty and because the further you look out, the more uncertain it is because of, more time between now and then. A lot of things can change between then. So, we'll have to see. But, we'll keep you updated, though. You guys know that. Calvin says, praying for folks in the Panhandle. Large hail can be dangerous as a tornado. I wouldn't say as dangerous as a tornado, but definitely dangerous. Yes, definitely dangerous. Definitely should have a shelter plan mapped out. For sure, given hail. I mean, you definitely don't want to be outdoors or anywhere near windows during big hailstorms. So, yeah, so definitely have a plan in place and know where to go. Obviously, if we do get some hail, I mean, like I mentioned, we do got a pretty decent, significant hatch risk area here. Which, I'm probably am going to do some coverage later today. I feel like I should. I kind of want to do some coverage on today's storm, so I'll probably be live in probably about an hour or two, maybe 2 hours or so. Yeah, I'm going to do some coverage, a little bit of coverage, okay? I'm committing to it now. We're going to do it. Let's see here. What's up, Brandy? Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. All of Texas is in Central Time. Is it? Cool. Gotcha. Yeah, I knew the the mountain time kind of starts definitely through New Mexico. Um, I just wasn't sure about the Panhandle side of Texas if you guys were Central or Mountain Time. But yeah. Let's see here. What's up, Logan? Saying, hey, Andrew, another beautiful day up here, waiting for the NFL draft to start. Oh, nice. Nice. Hope you're doing good, Logan. Glad to have you, man. But if you guys want me to do zip codes for today only, like I said, we're going to hold off for next week's concern, considering there's still going to likely be a lot of changes between now and then. But if you guys have any zip codes for today regarding severe weather, throw them down. If it's not for today, hold on to it for now. Just because I want people to be weather aware for today's concern. So we're going to do a little bit of zip codes here now and stuff, and I'll let you guys know what kind of risk you're in and if you're in a risk at all, essentially. So Anthony says, does Nashville need to worry? So Nashville, Tennessee, I'm assuming. So Nashville does not have a concern for today. There is going to be the potential for a couple booms of thunder, though, given that we are in a general thunderstorm risk. So there is going to be potential for a little bit of thunderstorms, but nothing really big. Within the next 3 days, nothing severe expected. I mean, even going into, Monday and Tuesday, you're, as of right now, not in that risk. So you're good, man. Yeah, you don't need to worry. All right, let's see here. All right, Marcus, got you, man. Let's see here. This is up here in Texas. Okay, you know what? So, Marcus, you're actually right on the edge of that level 1 threat. You're in that level 2 threat for today. So you're in a slight risk here. So what that means to you is that you do have yourself not a tornado concern per se. As of right now, today, we're not in any threat for tornadoes. That's to your northwest, so we're not expecting any tornadoes out here today towards your area. In terms of damaging winds, we do have a 5% chance for damaging winds to occur. Within a 25-mile radius around you, there is a 5% chance of damaging winds occurring within that region. Now, lastly, hail. We do have a 15% chance for hail. We're not in that significant risk, which starts right here. You guys can see with that, the dashed white line here. That's where that hatch risk for 2-inch hail or greater starts. But you're outside of that, so you're kind of within the range of 1 to 2 inches in diameter regarding potential hail size. So, that is that. Main concern, yeah, definitely is going to be hail, though. No tornadoes, really small threat here for, like we mentioned, for damaging winds, but we can't rule it out completely, essentially. Okay, let's see here. All right, Anthony, I'm assuming that's the Nashville one we just did. ATX wants me to take a look at the zip code here. Let's see here. You were up in the Austin area. Gotcha. So for today, I don't think you guys are really going to be in for much. You are in that level 1 severe weather threat. Look, you were right on the edge of that level 1 threat for severe weather, so to be quite honest with you, I really wouldn't expect much to happen. No tornadoes, definitely, so we're good from that. The only concern really is going to be just maybe some small hail, maybe some gusty winds, potential of some storms. We'll need to look out there for that. We definitely could see some strong to potentially severe thunderstorm activity. Right now, we do have some warnings to the northwest and to the north of you. So, we can't rule out severe weather. It's going to be possible, but relatively low in concern. And just remember, there's no tornadoes expected on those storms here. The wind shear just doesn't really support it. All right, Shanna, I got you. Let's take a look real quickly. So you're up here in Nebraska. What's up, Toby? Storm initiation will be between, I think we said, 5 o'clock? 5 p.m. Central? So here for Lincoln, Shanna, regarding your area here, today we do have a level 1 threat for today, which is a marginal risk here, the lowest severe weather concern. No tornadoes, which is good. Look out for the potential of maybe some gusty winds and maybe some small hail. The odds are you're probably not going to see severe weather today. The odds are very low. But generally speaking, there is still potential. The environment still, is capable of producing severe weather within the general region here. But the odds, just remember, are pretty low. Once again, no tornadoes today, which is good. Just maybe a little bit of gusty winds or some hail nearby couldn't be ruled out. And even if we did get those, they would likely be relatively minimal. Hail between mostly 1 to 2 inches in diameter, while, damaging wind gusts here would be mostly between 60 to 70 miles an hour overall. So, anyways, Let's see here. Yep, no problem, Anthony. I got you. Yeah, Toby, let me look real quickly. We'll hop you guys back to the models. I still have it up from when we just talked about it. Storm initiation is going to be taking place, yeah, but right around 5 Central. I'd say anywhere from 4 to 6 p.m. your guys' time out here, Central Time. So anywhere from 4 to 6 is when I would say that, we can expect those storms to fire off here. Of course, it could be a little off, of course, but that's when at least the 17 Zulu HRRR kind of suggested that. So, Zach, this zip code that you gave me, man, is not pulling up anything in the U.S. All right, Michelle, let me take a look at yours. You're up here in Georgia. So, yeah, Georgia's actually in the clear here. We don't really have anything going on anytime soon, at least severe weather-wise. We do have a generalized thunderstorm risk today. Potential for some thunderstorms, So, just remember that. There could be some booms today. Tomorrow, nothing severe. Day after, nothing severe. I mean, as of right now, we are not in any form of severe concern in the deep south out here. So, we're good. All right, Silent, I got you, man. Let's take a look at your zip code here. Go ahead and pull it up. By the way, guys, if you could, leave a like, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It'll be greatly appreciated. And consider sharing this too, guys. It'll be greatly appreciated. It could definitely help save lives and keep people informed. If you guys could help share this, it'd be much appreciated. So yeah, this area is not in the risk for severe weather today, although a couple of thunderstorms can't be ruled out here. I mean, this is the general thunderstorm risk area where a couple booms of thunder is going to be possible. But once again, nothing big. No problem, ATX. You're welcome, Shanna. You're welcome, Toby. No problem, guys. All right, let me try this one, Zach, and see if this one works here. Yeah, this one pulls up in Oklahoma. Got it. So you're in a level 2 threat, my friend, down here in southwestern Oklahoma. Okay, so you have actually, you're not in that tornado risk area. That kind of cuts off right at the border of Oklahoma and Texas, so you're good. We're not expecting any tornadoes today out here, okay? Now, in terms of damaging winds, we are in that 5% chance for damaging wind gusts. So, essentially what that means is that within a 25-mile radius around you, there is a 5% chance probability of damaging winds occurring somewhere within that radius around you. Pretty low end probability here. And we do have the potential for some gusts getting upwards of, 60, at worst case scenario, upwards to 70 miles an hour, which is a pretty low end concern. Given that probability, I should say. Now, hail, we do have ourselves a 15% chance, which we're kind of right on the edge of that significant hail threat. There could be potentially some large hail involved with those potential storms later on today. Given the risk, yes, you are in that hail concern. You're right on the edge of that significant hail concern, so I'd still really kind of need you to be watching out for the potential of large hail. I mean, you can't really take it precisely, because SPC kind of circles where the general area of the large hail is going to be expected here, which you're right on the edge of that. So, I'm not saying that there is not going to be any potential for large hail 2 inches or greater, but with that being said, yes, we do need to look out for hail, and you do have that 15% chance probability. So within a 25-mile radius around you, for hail, there is a 15% chance of it occurring within that radius around you. Does that make sense? So, yeah, hail's going to be your main concern. Hail's going to be that main concern. Okay? No problem, Michelle. No problem, Toby. You guys are very welcome. Alexis says, can you tell me about the zip code? Yep, I got you. Gotcha. All right, so this is up here in Texas. Okay, so this area is actually in the level 1 risk, I believe, today. Yep, so you're in that marginal, that level 1 out of 5 severe weather threat, which is a relatively low-end severe weather concern. Now, the good news is that we're not expecting tornadoes today. Okay, so we're not expecting any tornadic activity in this area here. Damaging winds, we do have a 5% chance for damaging wind gusts here, ranging perhaps 60 upwards to 70 miles an hour in terms of maximum wind gusts within the storm here. So, the odds are pretty darn low. Now, in terms of hail, we also have a 5% chance for hail, potential for some, hail ranging between 1 to 2 inches in diameter. So, odds are relatively low regarding severe weather for today, but a little bit of gusty winds, a little bit of hail within the general region can't be ruled out. But the odds of you specifically getting that, so it's pretty low. So, but yeah, once again, no tornadoes out here. The only areas that we need to look out for tornadoes today, in general across the states here. It's going to be the panhandle of Texas, panhandle of Oklahoma, southwest Kansas, and southeastern Colorado here. That's where the tornado concern is. And I mean, even in the risk area here for tornadoes, we're not expecting any significant tornadoes, given the fact that the wind shear is on the weaker side. Our winds throughout the lower mid-atmosphere is, I wouldn't say really weak. Mid-level wind shear is pretty decently strong, but lower-level winds are kind of weak, kind of on the weaker side, which doesn't really support any significant tornadoes, you know. So that's good. So if we did get tornadoes, they likely remain on the lower side of the scale. But anyways, but yeah, so that's where the tornado concern is, just generally speaking, for today. No problem, Zach. Let's see here. Hey, Andrew, how's it going? Once again, chilling from Lubbock. Nice, man. Hope you're doing good. It's going pretty good. Hopefully you're doing good yourself. Let's see here. Thank God no tornadoes. Yeah, I hear you, Alexis. I hear you. But anyways, folks, well, that's that. So, you know, once again, we are going to do some coverage here. So I'll be live. We're kind of right around storms whenever they start to fire off here, which will probably be, like I said, anywhere within the next 2 or 3 hours or so. Is when we're going to start to get some storms. So I'll hop back on then. For now, I'm going to head off, though. You know, this was just kind of a little bit of an update live stream for you guys. Just talking about today's risk as well as next Monday and Tuesday's risk here that we need to look out for. But yeah, we'll do some coverage today. I will do some coverage here. We'll be live here in a little bit. I do hope to see you guys there. And if you are new to the channel, you know, once again, consider subscribing, leaving a like. It'll be greatly appreciated. And if you guys could, you know, share this stream as well. Share this channel to your friends, your family, neighbors, coworkers, anybody, just to help spread the awareness. Like I said, I cover all the states here. Well, the main 48, I should say. I don't really cover Hawaii too much unless it's like tropical related. I don't really cover Alaska at all. But the main 48 we do cover, you know, for the most part. But so, like I said, you know, it doesn't matter if you're in Texas or whatever, or if you're up in New York State or, you know, all the way in Washington State, I'd still be covering you if there is nasty weather in the region, okay? What's going on in Ohio? So, Ohio, not really much here. I mean, today, anyways, we're not expecting anything crazy. We're in a general thunderstorm risk, which we can't rule out some booms of thunder. Some thunderstorms can't be ruled out. Tomorrow, we're good. Day after, we're good. Working our way over here into Monday. We're relatively fine. Tuesday, though, next Tuesday, we do need to be weather aware across portions of Ohio, especially the central western side as of now. Storm Prediction Center does have a risk for severe weather here for Tuesday for central and western Ohio. So, Trish, need to be weather aware out there on Tuesday. So keep an eye out there for that, as severe weather is going to be quite possible. Okay. Like I mentioned, you know, the big days definitely going to be for Monday. You can see we do have that 30% risk here, which is, you know, pretty decent risk out there for severe weather already, given the fact it's also several days out. And we already do have that 30%. I mean, that's a pretty decent risk out there. But anyways, folks, well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for now. Once again, I'll be live here in the next couple of hours, so I hope to see you guys there. Once again, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, leave a like. It'll be greatly appreciated. And once again, if you guys could help share this, please, it'll be greatly appreciated. Post on your Twitter, Facebook, whatever you guys can, just to help spread the awareness. That way we can help out as many people as possible. Once again, I'll be live here within the next couple of hours to do some coverage on today's storms. Probably not going to stream it super, super long today, but I will definitely stream some of it. For sure. So, all right, everybody. Well, thank you all for joining. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And like I said, I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. On your way out, like I said, if you guys could leave a like, be greatly appreciated. Stream's gonna head off here in approximately 1 minute. So go ahead and say goodbye to your friends, your family, anybody you're hanging out with in the chat. And all right, everybody. Well, thank you all so much for joining. We'll see you guys here in a couple of hours. And you guys have a wonderful day. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. See y'all later on. Peace out.